So, as some of you might know, I used to play Pokemon Sun and Moon, and I know that probably about at least a third of my audience probably subscribed to me because I used to do a lot of Pokemon things, used to talk about a lot more Pokemon things, which is why I wanted to keep those of you who did subscribe to me for that in the loop. So currently I don't play any Pokemon games. I don't play Sun and Moon anymore. There's a lot of reasons for that. The biggest reason is because I don't have the time anymore, unfortunately. You see, unlike most people who still play Pokemon Sun and Moon competitively, I actually breed my Pokemon, which takes more time than genning or hacking them. With the amount of time that takes, I don't have enough time to breed Pokemon anymore, and my friends don't really seem to be playing the game anymore, so I don't really play it at the moment. Now, it's not just the game taking too much time and my friends not playing it. There's also other reasons. In my opinion, Pokemon Sun and Moon weren't that great of Pokemon games compared to some of the previous ones. For some reason, it seems like the Pokemon Company gets it right on certain gens, mostly even-numbered gens. And what I mean by gens is generations. Like, the first generation is what started it all. It was great. The second generation was even better, but when they got to the third generation, Hoenn, it was okay, but it wasn't that fantastic. Then the fourth generation was pretty good. When I played the fifth generation, that seemed like it was really bad. The sixth generation was pretty good, but now that we're at the seventh generation, it's not that great. I mean, the story was pretty good, and some of the game features were pretty good. I didn't really like the fact that you had to go from island to island. I've always kind of enjoyed the traditional Pokemon routes where you're on one big area of land. Another reason is I just don't find the game very engaging. To me, it doesn't have really much of replay value, because the new Pokemon, when it comes to competitive play, aren't really all that great. They don't really stand up or do very well against older Pokemon. So most of the new Pokemon, there's not really much of a point in using them compared to the old Pokemon. That, and also I found the Festival Plaza to not be very engaging. I found the player search system to be much more efficient and much easier to use in general. But you know, just those features alone didn't necessarily make me stop playing the game. I was actually getting pretty interested in the competitive scene until they started releasing the Mega Stones. Now don't get me wrong, it's not that I don't like the Mega Stones, it's that I do like them, but when they started releasing the Mega Stones, first by having people enter competitions. I entered the first one with the Mawile Megastone and the Beedrill Megastone, but then when they announced, oh, you can't use it in the online ranking battles, I was like, well then, what's the point if you can't use it in the online ranking battles ahead of anyone else? You have to wait for them to release the Megastones to everyone first. It's like, well, there's no point in that. You should have just included the Megastones in the game in the first place. It's like, I don't want to have to go through all this of having to wait for you to release Megastones. So I just decided it's not really worth my time waiting for the Megastones to be released. When it comes to the online Pokemon competition, I wanted to battle with the Mega Pokemon right then and there. I didn't want to wait until later. I'm like, you know what, there's better things I could be doing. Now that's why I don't play Pokemon Sun and Moon anymore. But as to the future games, we recently were given the information that Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon are going to be released late this year. Before that, Pokemon Gold and Silver on Virtual Console. Now when it comes to Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, releasing those two in that way kind of reminds me of the 5th gen when they had Black and White and Black 2 and White 2. Now for me, the 5th gen was way worse than this gen because of the fact that you could only get the Pokemon from that generation in there in Black and White. And in that gen, because of that, I didn't even continue playing past the first gym at first. I was like, oh wow, this game really sucks. Let's just put it down before I even finish the story. Of course, I picked it up months later. That way I could transfer Pokemon all the way from the 3rd gen to the 6th gen. That was the only reason why I finished that. I never bought Black 2 or White 2, even though my friends were all like, oh, Black 2 and White 2 are better. They actually correct their mistakes. It's like, well, that's too late for me. I'm not interested anymore. I'm not going to pay my money to buy another Pokemon game, which could potentially disappoint me. But enough about the 5th gen. When it comes to Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, I highly doubt I'm going to get them. I might pick up my Pokemon Sun again and play that again for a little bit, depending on what I'm doing at the time. But I'm not sure that I'm going to buy the new games because I don't really see much of a point unless they've changed a lot in the new games. But when it comes to Pokemon Gold and Silver, the second generation is my favorite generation. It always has been. The very first Pokemon game that I actually owned was Pokemon Silver. So you better believe I'm going to be playing that generation again. You know, I remember when they released Heart Gold and Soul Silver. I was so excited. My friends and I, we all got that game. We had so much fun playing that with the Pokewalker and everything. But yeah, I'm probably going to get both Gold and Silver. So that's mostly it when it comes to Pokemon games. But for those of you Pokemon fans who are subscribed to me, what I want you to know is that even though I don't play Pokemon games at the moment, I do play the Pokemon TCG online. See, now another reason why I switched to the TCG and no longer play the game is because cheating in the Pokemon games are easy. Cheating in the Pokemon TCG is extremely difficult, which makes it much more rewarding to play the Pokemon TCG than it does to play the Pokemon games. But I'm going to be talking about the Pokemon TCG in another video. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please press like, and if you'd like to see more in the future, please subscribe, and I'll see you next time.